Alright guys, welcome into another video. Megan and I have an exciting weekend ahead of us. We are here at an Airbnb in Branson, Missouri. We are with Megan's family and we're going to go check out Silver Dollar City. And while we are exploring Silver Dollar City here in Branson, Missouri, what we want to do is answer the question, has traveling as a family been a bad idea for us? We're now multiple weeks into our assignment, and so we have a little bit of perspective that we can share at this point in our travel contract. So stay tuned. So the baby girls are napping, both of them, so we'll be a little bit quieter than normal, but we want to take this opportunity before we go to Silver Dollar City to let them nap and then also talk to you guys about our initial reactions to traveling as a family. Do we think it's a bad idea? Kind of how are we feeling? Because we are about, what, 2 months into this contract? Mm-hmm. So we have 1 more month to go. We've been very busy. We haven't been filming that much, really. No. But it's given us time to kind of figure out what we think about traveling as a family so far.
As a part of my initial reaction to traveling, it was hard to leave home. Like, it was hard to leave home the first time and then to go back home and get comfortable and then have a baby. Leaving was still hard.
I think leaving's hard no matter what, no matter if you're a family or a solo traveler or a team traveler. But I think the added baby element and feeling like we're kind of taking that away from family was really tough at first to kind of get used to. And we'll talk more on kind of family later on in the video. But once we got there, I kind of felt like it felt somewhat normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after you get there, you get settled in. There's the couple weeks of adjustment, which happens at any new contract, and then you get into a new normal routine, and it just feels like
this
is your life. Your everyday is.
I think also our initial reactions, we were really worried about how Reagan would do at a new place, sleeping not in her room, just everything, a lot of change. How would a baby, an infant, like tolerate that? Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think she's done great. And I'm sure it depends on the temperament of your child, but it also kind of just depends on if you're up for the challenge of bringing them along with you. You know, we think there's enough pros to trying to do this that some of the challenges we might face will be worth it. But she actually adapted really well. She sleeps great. My cousin like sleep trained her better than I could sleep train her. So she goes down so easy. And it did help. There's like a separate sleeping section in our room for her, which is nice. But she's adapted well. And I think this is a good like in-between step to try and travel again where we're only 4 hours from home and we have opportunities to still be a part of things that the family are doing and like first memories, like the tradition of my family going apple picking every year. I would have been really bummed to miss that if we were far away. So this has been a really good first trial.
Yeah. I think Megan hit an important part is we wanted to try travel as a family, and then that's something we wanted to do, and we wanted to bring our Reagan along with us to have those experiences. And so it's all trial and error, and we don't have it perfect, but so far it's went really well. And so that's really encouraging to us. Another great thing about travel is we can adjust on the fly. And so if it stops becoming well, or we see that it's hindering Reagan's development or, you know, whatever, then we can kind of switch it up.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things we constantly remind ourselves of, especially venturing into this as a family. It's important to remember, but you always have to let yourself know that things can change. If it's not working for you, you can change it. And that's kind of what comes with the flexibility of travel. But you also have to acknowledge there's going to be tons and tons of change. And sometimes that just is not good for, not everybody loves tons and tons of change. So that is definitely a major aspect of travel that you cannot avoid. It's going to happen. You have to accept it. You have to decide if it's worth trying. And then just know if you do try it and it's awful, you can make tweaks to make it work for you. And I think that's one of the biggest principles we go by before we were a family, and now especially as a family.
Well, hopefully the girls wake up soon, because we are excited to get to Silver Dollar City and eat some good food, see some fun crafts and stuff, and then ride some rides.
Okay, are you ready? Time to go party. We made it to Silver Dollar City. Reagan's first amusement park. The parents' first time riding a ride since having a baby. I hear that you just become motion sick after you have a kid. So this is gonna be the test.
It is a beautiful autumn day. The
Yeah.
leaves are changing. The scenery is gorgeous. This is like the perfect time to go to an amusement park.
Best time of year. I love hilly terrain. I always forget that it's here in Missouri, but it is, and it is very pretty.
Yes, very different than what we've been seeing in Kansas, where we have our travel assignment. It's pretty flat and straight roads.
I think one of our main concerns as starting travel again with Reagan is just family time in general. So that means our immediate family, but also like extended family, and missing time with them. But what has been really nice with the close contract is that we have been able to travel back home.
But I think this was a good baby step for us to kind of dabble our toes into traveling as a family. And then now I think we feel a little bit more prepared and ready to try to go a little further away.
Mm-hmm. The other cool opportunity that we get from being in new places is you just get unique opportunities to meet up with family.
Invite them out to that location.
Right, as schedules allow, but we've had so many different cool meetups, like in Las Vegas or here for this fall adventure.
Right, we've done Thanksgiving at the Grand Canyon. My family came out for almost a week to go explore Glacier National Park and camp up there.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of cool that you can have those turn what we would call a con or a downside of travel therapy into a really long-lasting family memory. You've been looking forward to these.
Oh
right?
yeah, this is like...
We headed straight here.
Yeah, we did. First stop. Thank you. This is like all I think of when I think of Silver Dollar City is this. You gotta come. So delicious. I don't know how long it's been since I've had one of these, but the wait was worth it. So good. This is pumpkin pie. I saw a Christmas pie plate that I like better.
So Megan's on another roller coaster. Come to find out, she's kind of crazy about roller coasters. So she's on one that spins and flips and turns, which sounded like I would just puke. So me and Reagan are just hanging out. We're actually in the Dippin' Dots line to get some ice cream. Oh yeah. While Megan is looking around in the Christmas shop, I'm going to try to go through just some of the logistics of doing travel therapy with a family. One of the big ones for us was child care. So you got to figure out what you're going to do, who's going to watch your child, especially if you're a travel team like Megan and I. We're both travel physical therapists, and we were both going to take an assignment for this one. So we had to figure out what we wanted to do for child care. Now, we didn't feel too comfortable finding a place wherever we're located for like 3 to 6 months and doing child care that way. So we were very fortunate enough to have one of Megan's cousins, someone we know and someone we've had babysit for us and trust, to actually come with us and live with us. So that's been working out really great, to have an au pair, to have a nanny that we pay weekly to stay with us. We provide housing and everything. And then that allows Megan and I to both go work home health and know that our child is safe and learning all the right things. So that's one way we've decided to tackle it. Now, in the future, that might change, and it might look more like I just take a travel contract and Megan is again staying home with Reagan. So it can be flexible either way, but that's kind of our tentative plan. And something you need to think about if you're going to travel as a family is, when are you going to stay home, or what are you going to do for childcare? The other logistic is, because our family is growing and we were bringing along our family babysitter, we needed a bigger space. So we couldn't go use Big Betty as our RV to travel in and to stay in full time, because we didn't have enough space. And so the rental space we were looking for also needed to be a little bigger. So that meant more rooms, and so they kind of dwindled our rental options. So before you sign on that contract to do travel therapy, you might want to look around and see, is there a space that's going to fit your needs as a family traveling to that area? We were fortunate enough to find the farmhouse that we showed you a tour of, and it actually turned out pretty good. The last logistic that we've kind of thought about is, when we do want to return home, spend time with family, what part of the year seems to be the time of the year that we gravitate more towards home? For us, that's in the fall. There's more things like apple picking and family events, Pier Marquette, family reunions, you have Thanksgiving, and then rolling into the Christmas holidays. So for us, fall into kind of winter is when we would like to be home. And that's kind of how we're designing our travel life. So 6 months on the road, 6 months back at home. Obviously this year we are away during the fall, and that's when we really realize what's best for our family is to be back home during that kind of fall into winter time. So think of the times that you want to be back home, even if it's just for a few weeks, or maybe that month back, because you need 30 days at your tax home to qualify for those stipends. If you don't know much about that, go check out our tax home video. But those are just some of the basic logistics that we had thought about as traveling as a family. It was a fun day at Silver Dollar City. We got to ride a few rides. Megan really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did.
Got to do a little bit of shopping. They have all kinds of handmade crafts there. It's like a huge craft fair all the time. And then the decorations were beautiful. The fall festival, pumpkins everywhere, huge pumpkins. So it was a lot of fun to kind of walk around and experience Silver Dollar City. They also have a really great Christmas. They have a lot of Christmas lights. They kind of go all out for that. So if you're in the area during the Christmas time, think about going over there and seeing them.
We kind of wanted to wrap this video up by talking, hitting on the struggles of traveling as a family, because there are some, and we want to be realistic. The hardest struggle for us, I think, or at least for me, is knowing that we're not going to be home at our permanent home all the time, and we're not going to be making all of our memories there. And that was kind of like a weird realization that I came to. Like, obviously you know that, but then once you're traveling, and we've come back home a couple times, and had that weird feeling of like, this is our home, but we're not there, but we like being home, but we also like traveling. It's just weird to realize we're not going to like experience all of life here, and our kids are not going to experience all of life here.
Yeah, there's definitely trade-offs that you have to look at, because there's things that we get to do out on the road that we don't get to do at home, and that's what we want to experience. So for every family, it's going to be a little different in what your trade-offs are. And you just really have to evaluate that and know that it's okay to reevaluate that after you maybe try an assignment or two. There's always constant reevaluation to see kind of how your family's handling it.
Yeah, and the comfort to me, at least in our situation, what we're trying to do is we're trying to travel half of the year and then be back at our permanent home half of the year. And so what's comforting to me is to know that we will be back home at some point, and that's like in the plan, and we will create some of those memories and have the time to do that. So it helps me know that like right now is just not that time, and helps me enjoy the time that we have on the road and not necessarily worry about not being home, because I know we will be home at some point in the future.
And that kind of leads into our main piece of advice. If you're really going to go away, at least for us, if we're going to be away for 3 to 6 months per year, make sure you go somewhere that you want to go. So if location's a big thing for us, and we'd love to be near the mountains right now, really exploring a new national park, or so I think our next assignment, we might look at trying to do that more, because if we're going to be away from home and family, we might as well be away from home and family.
Somewhere cool.
Yeah, somewhere cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the main takeaway for like our tips of traveling with family is if you're going to do it, go somewhere cool, enjoy it. Either way, you're going to be away, and you're going to be figuring out what works for you and what doesn't, so you might as well go away to somewhere that is fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we would love to hear any questions you would have about traveling as a family, or if you do travel as a family, we'd love to hear any tips or tricks that you have to share with the community. And so go ahead and comment those below down here in the YouTube comments, or send us a message over on our Facebook group, Ryan and Megan. Check out our website. Follow us on Instagram. We're there all over social media. And consider subscribing to our channel if you're not already doing that. We really appreciate that. It helps us create more videos. So other than that, until next time, see ya.